It is one of the most used device in my collection right now, and I did not expect it to be that useful. Let's talk about it. I have a huge offline library and I love listening to music on my DABs. However, last month Sarfans reached out to me for reviewing F20 and I was kinda intrigued with it. Honestly, I did not have much expectation after reading the specs. However, though was I wrong. Let's dissect this player starting with build and design. For build and design, this is a very nicely built small form factor DAB. With a 2-inch TFT screen and buttons and scroll wheel for controls, it is a full analog and retro DAB and has a feels to it. With its aluminium body, it feels premium as well as for the price it comes for. It has 5 buttons in front, next, back, menu, with a selector in the middle of the scroll wheel. Some of these buttons have multiple uses. For example, forward is also used as next, and this M button is for menu as well as for updating the database and selecting some other options. And at the same time, in the bottom you have both 3.5mm as well as 3.5mm line out, which is pretty interesting addition for a device of $120. And lastly, in the design on the top, we have the power button. For a technical aspect, this can decode all your formats from your FLAC to your DSD, and at the same time, it is equipped with Bluetooth 5.2 that supports both LDAC and aptX. For DAC and amp, I'm not sure which chip they are using, so I'll directly talk about power and sound both in the Sonic section. For storage, it has 64 GB inbuilt and as well as 512 GB expandable memory, which is pretty much enough for any kind of offline library, I would say. Now let's see its OS. It's a pretty much simple, fundamental and easy to use OS with just 3 options. Settings for your basic adjustments, update database, adjust gain, EQ and album art, etc. Then in category, you get your music library, and in Explorer, you have the file management. As I said, pretty much easy and straightforward, easy to use UI. However, because of that, it comes with some of the cons as well. For example, it is designed in a way it is very difficult to find the song, so you need to scroll the list, and for long list it can be tiring and boring. Though you can always choose the artist or album for fast navigation, but it is an issue in this one. Rest, I think it is a very simple, good to go music player UI. Before talking about sound, let's talk about power. It has enough power to support any of your IEMs. Except of course some extremely demanding IEM like Symphonium, I would say it can support any. And at the same time, if you're talking about headphones, it might not be able to support all of your headphones. However, something like K361 or your Cos Porta Pros, it can support easily. And for the sound, it has thick sound production and it is a very enjoyable experience for music listening, I would say. This whole device reminds me a lot about iPod Classic in its build and design as well as its sound production. iPod Classic 7 series comes very close in terms of sound. It has that same full body signature and adds a kick to the music. However, I feel Transient sometimes comes out a bit slow. I am really nitpicking here for the price, because for the price it performs fantastically. Still, I would say if you compare this with other DACs, something like Shanling M0 Pro or your Hebe R1, they perform slightly better. They have neutral and flat sound signature and perform slightly better sonically. Still, for offline DAB and its comparison under $100 or around $100, I would say I have both retro picks here. Number 1 is Snowski Echo Mini and Sarfans F20. Sarfans has an advantage here in terms of build. It has aluminium sturdy build and at the same time it has 512 GB expandable memory. However, Snowski Echo Mini performs slightly better sonically in comparison of the both. So whichever you like, you can go for that. Sarfans is literally a DAB that reeks. Keep it simple. It is a fantastic commute device, and if you need something offline, small and affordable, it is a nice pick to check out. I would give this a 3.5 stars, and if you're in market for a device like this, I would say definitely check this out. It might be your next purchase. Well, this was it for Surfence F20. I hope you liked the review. Do not forget to subscribe, like, and comment your favorite offline dApp, and I'll see you in the next one.